Hi, Sam, and welcome to this chat.
Thank you so much for having me, Moira. It's a pleasure.
Well, no, it's great. It's our pleasure to have the winner of the Sleep Science Communication Award, which is great. So tell me a bit about, just really briefly, tell me just in a nutshell about your research you're currently doing.
So I'm researching a sleep disorder called isolated REM sleep behaviour disorder down here in Tasmania. And we're looking at the prevalence in Tassie as well as different profiles, so different sort of symptoms that people present very early on with the sleep disorder. Because it is quite a high risk sleep disorder. We know that a lot of people, once they're diagnosed, will go on to develop Parkinson's disease or dementia. So we're really wanting to find out why that's happening and whether there's other changes they're experiencing that is going to tell us a bit about why they are going on to develop these other diseases. And then recently we've also looked at their dream characteristics as a little bit of a side project because it's really hard to diagnose people and find people with this sleep disorder because often they don't know they have it because they're asleep. And they're acting out their dreams, and it's only if they have a bed partner usually that notices it. So we've been looking at differences in dreaming to see whether we can develop better tools to be able to identify people with the sleep disorder, and particularly women who we think are quite underdiagnosed because they present with different dream characteristics compared to men.
Is it equal prevalence with men and women if you thought if we were actually detecting them, do we think?
The research suggests that men have, more symptoms and they present with iRBD more often than women. But we think it may be because they present with a lot bigger movements overnight, so they're noticed and picked up more compared to women who might have smaller, slightly different dream enactment that isn't sort of noticed as being a problem. So it often goes undetected for many, many years until, something else crops up, maybe a motor symptom with Parkinson's, and then they can look back and see, oh, I may have done something in my sleep, but it just wasn't thought that
Interesting.
a problem at the
So,
time.
so not as spectacular, but the punching and the thrashing and it's more just a subtle
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I suppose you entered a competition like this because you're probably interested in, getting your research out there more. And the Sleep Health Foundation really want to be teaching or, encouraging young researchers or, new researchers to understand that beyond their PhD finishing or beyond their master's finishing, beyond the publications, that we need to actually get it out more to the people. So what are your hopes around that sort of thing, or any ideas for us really? What can we do to have more of the population knowing about the, REM behaviour disorder?
Yeah, well, and obviously, we all know sleep health is incredibly important for overall health. So I think it's really important to sort of convey that to the community in a way that's going to make sense and help people, along their journey to better sleep. But particularly with my research into isolated REM sleep behaviour disorder, not a lot of people know about it. Even, general practitioners, medical professionals, they often don't get a lot of, training in sleep, and particularly with sleep disorder. So I think it's really important, and I hope to be able to, through the research, share that with the wider community, because if people, are aware that this sleep disorder is out there and what the symptoms look like, then they're more likely to seek treatment or help or just investigations to find out whether it could be iRBD or maybe even a different sleep disorder. Because we know if we can find people with iRBD early enough, we might have a chance to alter their trajectory to Parkinson's or dementia through lifestyle risk factor modifications or medications, or even enrolling in clinical trials to stop or delay the progression to other brain diseases. So I think getting people aware and showing them that this is out there. If you do act out your dreams, then it's worth seeing someone having a sleep study to figure out if that is happening, and that there's things that we can try to do to improve symptoms and hopefully change the journey, over time.
Oh, it's fantastic. And yeah, such a worthy winner. Congratulations once again in a really strong field. So yeah, well done. And thanks for chatting to me today.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been great.